Happy hump day, everybody. X-Man 1991 back again with another video. Before I get to the topic of this rant, I'm here to do a quick recap of tonight's first half of the Cleveland Cavaliers versus Houston Rockets game. All right. Rockets dominated the first half. They were lucky to outscore the Cavs in the first quarter by a point, 32-31. Then they outscored them in the second quarter by 10 points, 32-22. At halftime, Rockets 64, Cavs 53. Full recap of the game is coming tomorrow. But this rant is not about tonight's game between the Cavs and the Rockets. In case you guys been living under a rock, if y'all haven't heard the news, y'all know the block Nick Rewind has been discontinued on TeenNick. Why? I don't know, because I have not watched Nick Rewind in like weeks, months. Mainly the reason why they got rid of Nick Rewind probably because they kept airing the same old shit over and over again. The same classic Nick shows every single night. I mean, out of all the classic Nick shows that they had back in the 90s and the early 2000s, like they can't show anything else? Nothing? Nothing? Like, damn, bro, how many times we gonna see the same shows? How many times we gonna see the same shows every single week on Nick Rewind? Like, I don't get it. I guess people don't give a damn about variety anymore like they used to. Just like communication is the key, variety is the key. It all started back when the block was called The 90s Are All That. When they came up with The 90s Are All That, we were all excited to see our favorite classic Nickelodeon shows on this block. And I was hoping that they would put it on the main Nickelodeon channel because some people don't even have TeenNick. And I wish they would have aired it in a certain time where people are awake and not when people are sleeping. That was the huge problem I had with this block. Back when it was called The 90s Are All That, like, why would you air it on a time when people are getting ready to go to sleep and not when people are wide awake? Because some people had to go to school, some people had to go to work the next day. So they really should have put this block on the main Nickelodeon channel instead of on a channel that not many people have. Not many people don't even have TeenNick. Hell, some people don't even have Boomerang or Nicktoons or Disney XD. Pretty much reminds me of when Nickelodeon came out with The 90s Are All That for the classic Nickelodeon. A decade ago, Cartoon Network decided to do the same thing and bring back Cartoon Planet. If you remember the 90s version of Cartoon Planet, the 90s version of Cartoon Planet had Space Ghost, Zorak, and Brak, where they would sing songs, do funny jokes, and showcase classic cartoons, Hanna-Barbera cartoons from the 1960s, such as the Flintstones, the Jetsons, and Scooby-Doo. In the 2012 version of Cartoon Planet, it was a Friday night block hosted by Brak and Zorak, and they would show classic Cartoon Network shows in a similar format to the Cartoon show, where they would show classic Cartoon Network shows for 7 or 11 minutes. The first year of Cartoon Planet's return was pretty good because they had Dexter's Laboratory, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Cow and Chicken, the Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, I Am Weasel, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Evil Con Carne, Codename Kids Next Door, Foster's, Camp Lazlo, My Gym Partner's a Monkey, Chowder, and Flapjack. Even though I don't consider Chowder and Flapjack classics, but they were still good shows. I always thought Flapjack was a knockoff of SpongeBob, to be honest. But yeah, Chowder and Flapjack are good shows, even though I don't consider them classics. The first year of Cartoon Planet's return was pretty good, but then the next year, just when I thought they was going to add more classic Cartoon Network shows to the block pretty much went downhill when they were airing shows that I fucking damn sure don't consider as classics. They were airing shows like Robotomy, The Problem Solvers, Secret Mountain Fort Awesome, Scaredy Squirrel, Mad, Annoying Orange, and Gumball. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Gumball, but it's not a classic. It did not deserve to be on Cartoon Planet when it was already still airing new episodes on Cartoon Network. In my opinion, both the 90s Are All That and Cartoon Planet went downhill in 2013. Cartoon Planet pretty much doesn't even exist anymore. It's no more. Cartoon Planet was discontinued in February 2014. I doubt they're going to bring back Cartoon Planet because C. Martin Croker, the voice of Zorak, is no longer with us. And I doubt they're going to find somebody else to voice Zorak. I can't picture anybody else voicing Zorak except C. Martin Croker. He cannot be replaced. I'm sorry. So, R.I.P. C. Martin Croker, you are definitely missed. Thank you for all the memories of voicing Zorak on Space Ghost Coast to Coast, The Brack Show, and Cartoon Planet. In 2013, Disney Channel did the same thing. They came up with a block with their classic Disney Channel shows called Disney Replay, even though that didn't even last long too. When they decided to rename the 90s Are All That, The Splat, the first week of The Splat was good, where they had a huge variety of Nickelodeon shows, classic Nick shows to air. And then the next week, they went back doing the same shit, air the same shows every single night. I thought they was going to have the Splat become a 24/7 channel instead of a block. But no, they decided to keep it as a block instead of making it a 24/7 channel. If they would have made the Splat a 24/7 channel, we would have had a variety of classic Nick shows to watch. Then they decided to rename the Splat as Nick Splat, and then they decided to rename it as Nick Rewind. The last day of Nick Rewind was this past Monday, and I fucking missed it. So, Nick Rewind, the 90s Are All That, the Splat, Nick Splat, however the hell you want to call this block. It was fun while it lasted for a decade, even though they kept airing the same old shit over and over again. The only time they would air other classic Nick shows is during special occasions. And that's it. That's the problem that I have with TV channels and TV blocks these days. They just care more about making money instead of caring about what the fans actually want. That's how most channels are these days. So if you want to watch some classic Nick shows, the only place you can watch them is Paramount Plus. And I got some more shit to talk about too. I'm hearing that Cartoon Network is going to get back airing live action shows, and I'm definitely not happy about that shit. That proves to me that Cartoon Network has not learned their lesson from the first time they were airing live action shows. The first time they were airing live action shows, it didn't actually build up their viewers. It didn't actually work. By the time Incredible Crew came to an end, Cartoon Network was finally at peace. No more live action shows. But then, now we're not back to having no peace for Cartoon Network because they've not learned their lesson for the first time they did this shit. A decade ago, before I got into social media, I used to complain sending voice messages to my friends on my phone and complain to them about how bad Cartoon Network was when they were airing live action shows. The channel is called Cartoon Network for a reason, which means me and everybody else that grew up watching this damn channel expects Cartoon Network to air nothing but cartoons 24/7, 365. It was always like that in the 90s, and it was still like that in the 2000s up until the late 2000s when they decided to start airing live action shows. During the Powerhouse era, that was their old slogan. Cartoon Network, the best place for cartoons. Now, when it comes to Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, they have the right to cater to their viewers to not only air cartoons, but to air live action shows. They can air whatever the fuck they want to air because they don't have the word cartoon or tunes in their name. They're called Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, which means not only they can air cartoons, but they can also air live action shows. Cartoon Network was never like that. And most of the live action shows they had on Cartoon Network were nothing but rip-offs of other live action shows that we've seen before. A year later, Nicktoons started doing the same thing, despite that their channel's called Nicktoons, which means they're supposed to air 24/7 of non-stop Nicktoons. They decided to air live action shows too. Anything Cartoon Network did, Nicktoons wanted to do. When you have the word cartoon or tunes on the name of your network, you're only supposed to be showing cartoons. That makes no fucking sense for cartoon channels to air live action shows. When did they start coming up with that idea? For cartoon channels to air live action shows, when that channel is supposed to air nothing but 24/7 of cartoons. I don't know. I feel like giving up on Cartoon Network. And y'all know Cartoon Network is turning Dirty 30 this October. And we have no idea what they're going to be doing to celebrate their 30th anniversary. Because I know it's going to be just like their 25th anniversary. They didn't do shit when they celebrated 25 years of their channel in 2017. And I guarantee you, they're not going to do shit to celebrate 30 years of their channel this October. Despite that Stuart Snyder fucked up Cartoon Network when he brought in those live action shows, you got to give the man credit that he still gave us variety. And he did the 20th anniversary of Cartoon Network in 2012. He brought Cartoon Planet back. He brought Toonami back. He still brought in shows that kept me watching the network, despite that they canceled good shows like Young Justice and Green Lantern. What did Christina Miller do when she was the president of Cartoon Network? Nothing. Only thing that she was obsessed with was airing nothing but Teen Titans Go, which still takes up half the channel's schedule to this day, by the way. MTV, they still airing nothing but fucking ridiculousness all day, every day. And the only time they would air other shows if they're scheduled to air a new episode, and then boom, you don't see that show again until the next week. MTV still hasn't thought about airing a variety of shows besides Ridiculousness, and they haven't thought about going back to airing music videos, despite that their channel's called MTV Music Television. A lot of people say MTV has not been the same ever since they stopped airing music videos. Or they're probably saying MTV hasn't been the same since they canceled Beavis and Butthead in 1997. And I can agree with the people that said MTV hasn't been the same since Beavis and Butthead ended in 97, before they brought it back in 2011. Speaking of Beavis and Butthead, you guys know not only Mike Judge is bringing back Beavis and Butthead, but he's also bringing back King of the Hill. So that's what's up. I'm proud that Mike Judge is bringing back two of the best shows that he has done since the 90s, Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill. As for WWE, you know I've been ranting, complaining about how bad MTV, Cartoon Network, and WWE has been these days. I'm so glad, no disrespect to my brother Surge Dragon, but I'm glad I didn't spend my fucking $15 going over to his house to watch the Royal Rumble. Because I heard the Royal Rumble was trash. I'm glad I didn't go over there to watch that shit because I was busy focusing on my sister's dog's, my nephew's birthday weekend. His birthday was the same day of the Royal Rumble. I'm glad I didn't go over there and watch that shit because I knew it was going to be trash anyway. MTV, Cartoon Network, and WWE nowadays just cares more about the money than their fans. I'm planning on giving up on these three sometimes. I've said multiple times that I was planning on giving up on MTV, Cartoon Network, and WWE because they don't give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck about the fans, and they don't give a fuck about what the fans want. They just gonna keep rinsing and repeating the same thing to make us former MTV, Cartoon Network, and WWE fans pissed off. That's why you guys see me every now and then come on here and do rants about matches and segments from the Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression Era. I can't even watch Cartoon Network without noticing that they're going to get back airing live action shows. And I can't watch Boomerang. Boomerang is no better. Boomerang has been fucking trash for the past 7 years. No, 7 years. Boomerang has been trash ever since the channel got rebranded. It's fucking garbage. Cartoon Network will never be what it used to be. Back in the 90s and the early 2000s, the checkerboard era and the powerhouse era, it'll never be any of those two eras. Hell, it won't be as good as it was during the city era. It'll never be that shit again. WWE will never be the same as it was back in the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era. MTV will never be the same as it was back in the 90s, back when they had music videos. The reason why I watched MTV back in the 90s, not only because they were all about music videos, but I also watched MTV for their animated shows, such as Liquid Television, Aeon Flux, Beavis and Butthead, Daria, Celebrity Deathmatch, Undergrads, 3 South, MTV's Downtown, The Max, all those MTV animated shows. Clone High, all those MTV animated shows. That's the only reason why I love MTV, because of their animated shows. Even though their animated shows were for like teens and adults, I still watched them as a kid anyway. So I'm going to name this rant, Nick Rewind has been discontinued and other stuff. Because I'm not just ranting about Nick Rewind is discontinued, but I'm also ranting about how bad Cartoon Network, MTV, and WWE has been these days. I really miss the 1990s and the early 2000s. Nowadays, TV channels and TV blocks don't air a variety of shows like they used to. Just like record labels don't have a variety of artists like they used to. Such as G-Unit, Bad Boy, Aftermath. Even though Aftermath is still a good label, Aftermath don't have a variety of artists like they used to. They only have like 4 artists on Aftermath. 5 if you count Dr. Dre. Bad Boy only has 5 artists. 6 if you count Puff Daddy. And the only artists that are signed with G-Unit is 50 and Tony Yayo. See what I'm talking about? People don't give a damn about variety anymore like they used to. I miss when TV channels used to have an era variety of shows and record labels having a variety of artists. This generation is so fucked up. I don't know what to do about my generation. It's getting ruined every day, week, month, and year. America as a whole is going down the fucking drain. So all I gotta say is rest in peace to the 90s or all that / Nick Rewind / the Splat / Nick Splat, wherever you want to call this block. July 25th, 2011 to January 31st, 2022. You will definitely be missed, even though you kept airing the same old shit over and over again and don't feel like airing a variety of shows, of other classic Nick shows. I mean, during the last few months, all they did was air what? Rugrats, Doug, Rocko's Modern Life, and Hey Arnold, and nothing else. iCarly was pretty much the last show that they aired on Nick Rewind, ever since they took Rugrats off. Unfucking believable. What is really happening with television these days? I mean, nowadays, people are watching shows like on YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, Paramount Plus, etc. There's no need to pay for cable if these TV channels gonna air marathons of the same 5-6 shows and not a variety of shows like they used to. That's why I don't watch TV that much anymore. Most of the time I be, playing video games, live streaming on Twitch and all that. I really don't watch TV that much anymore like I used to. Nowadays, the only time I watch TV is for, sporting events like the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, Animation Domination, and of course, Toonami on Adult Swim. That would be the only time that I will watch television. Or if I'm watching game shows like Let's Make a Deal or Family Feud, that's the only time I watch TV. Otherwise, I really don't watch TV that much anymore because channels nowadays lack a variety of airing shows. It's just ridiculous. But that's going to pretty much wrap up my rant about Nick Rewind being discontinued on TeenNick and other bullshit, such as what's been going on with MTV, Cartoon Network, and WWE, and how the generation of television, music, video games, clothes, sports, whatever you want to call it, ever since we came out of that era where sports, video games, clothes, entertainment, music was good, it all completely went downhill. I'm speaking this to all my people that miss the good old days of all that shit. 90s for life. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. So let me know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts about Nick Rewind being discontinued on TeenNick? And what are your thoughts about Cartoon Network announcing that they're going to get back airing live action shows? And MTV still airing marathons of Ridiculousness all day, every day? And also, what are your 2 cents on this year's Royal Rumble? Just let me know all that in the comments down below. I'm going to try to do another rant real quick after I upload this one. I'm going to do a review of the February 2nd, 1998 schedule and the February 2nd, 2007 schedule of MTV. And y'all let me know, which schedule did you think was better? And which schedule do you think that had more, music, that had shows that had something to do with music? And which schedule had nothing but reality shows? So I'll be back in a minute to do that. Rest in peace to Nick Rewind on TeenNick, formerly known as the 90s Are All That, The Splat, and Nick Splat. July 25th, 2011 to January 31st, 2022.